Hello there, thank you for clicking on the video and welcome to AI Predicts. In this video, I've asked the three leading AI models in the world, Grok, ChatGPT and Gemini, all to predict the upcoming Champions League games on Wednesday. Then, when all the games have been played, we'll find out which model was most accurate. We've also put two real-life accumulator bets on, based on the AI predictions, and if you comment on this video by the time the games have all been played, you're in with a chance of winning a split of those bets if they do indeed come in. Also, just super quickly, I'd really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. For a small channel like me, it really does mean a lot. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, here we are. We've got the predictions on screen right now. Well, the first half of them anyway. I've split it out into two separate accumulator bets. So one ninefold and then another ninefold. So these are the first sets. We'll have a run through those, see what the bet's going to be, and then we'll have a look at the other half as well. So the first game is Ajax versus Olympiacos. Grok is predicting a 2-1 Ajax win, ChatGPT a 2-0 Ajax win, and Gemini is predicting a 2-2 draw. I think the through line there, probably an Ajax win or double chance draw, maybe something like that. Next up, we have got Arsenal versus Kairat Almaty, and all three models are predicting the same thing here, and that is a 4-0 Arsenal win. We do try and stay away from predicting correct scores because that can always go really wrong. So I think maybe we'll just go for an Arsenal win here, possibly put like a bet builder on just to boost those odds a little bit. Next up, we have Athletic Bilbao versus Sporting Lisbon. Grok and Gemini are both predicting a 2-1 Sporting win, and ChatGPT is predicting a 1-1 draw. So again, maybe we'll go for a double chance there because I don't mind the Sporting win, but Bilbao are at home, so that kind of makes me doubt it slightly. So I think maybe a double chance is sensible there. And once more, we've got, the next game is Atletico Madrid versus Bodo Glimt. And once more, we have got a perfect alignment in all three models, and they are predicting a 2-0 Atletico Madrid win. Yeah, so I think we'll just go for a straight up Atletico win there. That makes sense. Moving on, we've got Barcelona versus FC Copenhagen, and Grok and Gemini are agreeing again, and that is on a 3-1 Barcelona win, whereas ChatGPT is predicting a 3-0 Barcelona win. So again, we're going for a Barca win there, but I think we've got an opportunity to put some more sort of additional bets into that. So like a bet builder, maybe Yamal and Lewandowski to have a shot on target or to score or assist, something like that. Then we have Bayer Leverkusen versus Villarreal. And again, all three models are agreeing, and that is on a 2-1 Leverkusen win. I think that makes a lot of sense. Villarreal, in terms of their Champions League form, are doing really, really bad. I think in the Spanish league, they're something like third or fourth, so they're doing well there. But yeah, really sort of night and day, their form in Europe and domestically. So I think a Leverkusen win there, just straight up. I think that's what we'll go for. Then we have Benfica versus Real Madrid. Grok and Gemini are predicting a 3-1 Real win, and ChatGPT a 2-1 Real Madrid win. So again, I think this is one where the odds are sort of pretty heavily favoured in one direction. So it's another opportunity to use a bet builder. Next up, I think one of the more interesting games of the day, which is Borussia Dortmund versus Internazionale or Inter Milan. Grok and ChatGPT both think that's going to end up in a 2-2 draw, and Gemini think that's going to be a 1-1 draw. So I mean, this is one I think could go many different ways. So this is definitely one that could trip us up. So I think something like both teams to score there, because I think that there is a through line there. I think that would make a lot of sense. And the last one of the first half of the predictions is Club Bruges versus Marseille. Grok is predicting a 1-1 draw, and ChatGPT and Gemini are predicting a 2-1 Marseille win. Marseille looking a little bit revitalised with that new loan deal they got, Ethan Nwaneri from Arsenal, and he scored a fantastic goal already for them. And they did look good before that anyway. So yeah, the only thing is Club Bruges are at home. So I think maybe we could go for a double chance there. So anyway, there are the first set of predictions, and based on those, we're going to do a ninefold accumulator. So let's have a look at what that looks like. Okay, so here it is, and we'll have a quick run through that, and I'll just sort of very briefly explain the rationale as to why we've chosen that, and then we'll move on to the second half of the predictions. So the first game, Ajax versus Olympiacos. So we've gone for the double chance, an Ajax win or a draw. Next up, we have got Athletic Bilbao. We've gone for a double chance again. We've gone for a Sporting or a draw. So that maybe could trip us up. I'm not too confident on that. Like, I think Bilbao could do it, but we'll see. Sporting have been in good form in Europe. I'm not sure about domestically, but they've definitely been in good form. Just recently beating Paris Saint-Germain, so not bad there at all. We've got Atletico Madrid to beat Bodo Glimt just straight up. I think I'm pretty confident with that one. As we said in the predictions, also confident on Bayer Leverkusen to beat Villarreal, especially as they're at home. We've got for the Borussia Dortmund Inter Milan game, both teams to score. Like, as I said, I was a bit not too confident on the result there, because I think this is a bit of a wild card pick. It could go either way, but I do think both are good enough going forward to score against each other. So that's why we've gone for that one. Then we have for Club Brugge Marseille, we've just gone for a Marseille win. You know, I think like too many like double chances we're sort of hurting our odds a little bit, so you've got to kind of go for it at some point. So this is our sort of going for it, as it were. So I've gone for a Marseille win over Club Brugge. Then we have a bet builder on the Arsenal Kairat Almaty game, which consists of both teams to score no. So basically what we're saying there is Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet, and for there to be over 2 goals in the game. I mean, it didn't come out very good, 20-21, but I mean, it's tough to get good odds on this game. It was really tough. It was one of those where even if you added to that bet builder Arsenal to win, it didn't improve the odds at all. It was basically like a 0 point. So so there we go. And then we've got Barcelona versus Copenhagen. We've gone for another bet builder there. So that is Barcelona to win, Lamine Yamal to either score or assist, and Robert Lewandowski to have at least 1 shot on target. That came out at 5-12. Again, tough to get good odds on that game, but there we go. And the last game, we have got Benfica versus Real Madrid. One more bet builder on this one, which is Real Madrid to win, Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. each to have 1 shot on target. So for a £2 stake there, our total potential returns is £234.90. Now it's a bit of a modest potential return, to be honest, but we've got 2. So obviously we've got 2 accumulators. So if you comment on the video, you're in with a chance of winning both of those. It doesn't matter, like either one. It's sort of like you go into sort of like a prize pool and you can win either or. So there we go. So £234, not great, right? But so I'll explain exactly how it works with like the winnings and the money changing hands if it does come in after the second half. So we'll do that now. All right, so the second half of the predictions and the second bet happening right now. So the first game, we've got Eintracht Frankfurt versus Tottenham Hotspur, and all 3 models are perfectly aligned here and are predicting a 2-1 Tottenham Hotspur win. So yeah, I mean, Spurs have been terrible in the Premier League, really in bad form, just losing to West Ham and then drawing to Burnley. So really not very good there. But in Europe, their fortunes are slightly more positive. So yeah, I mean, we can't ignore that. They've all said exactly the same thing, a 2-1 win for Spurs. So we'll take that into account when putting the second bet on. Then we've got Liverpool versus Karabakh. Grok and Gemini are predicting a 3-0 Liverpool win, whereas ChatGPT, slightly more adventurous, predicting a 4-0 Liverpool win. So Liverpool are at home. Obviously on paper, they should definitely win this. They should absolutely win this, but that's not always the way it goes. They just recently lost 3-2 to Bournemouth in the Premier League when they really should have won that. So we'll take that into consideration. Possibly a bet builder on that one. We'll see. Up next, we have got Man City versus Galatasaray. Grok is predicting a 4-1 Man City win, ChatGPT a 3-0 Man City win, and Gemini a 3-1 Manchester City win. So yeah, obviously we're going to go for a Man City win here, possibly another bet builder. I think Galatasaray could cause them some problems. They're no pushovers. And, you know, as we saw in the last Champions League game, Man City maybe not on the best European form, losing 3-1 to Bodo Glimt and actually sort of falling apart. If you saw that game, Bodo Glimt looked like they were Man City, and vice versa, you know, and especially sort of riling up so much where Rodri got himself sent off, and, you know, it was just a bit of a nightmare for Man City. But having said that, they were away, they are at home this time. So, you know, I don't think Pep Guardiola is probably going to allow that to happen 2 times in a row. Moving on, we've got AS Monaco versus Juventus. Grok is predicting a 2-1 Juventus win, and the other 2, ChatGPT and Gemini, think that's going to be a 1-1 draw. So looks like possibly we can go for a double chance there for the Juventus win and draw. Then we have Paphos FC versus Slavia Praha, and Grok and ChatGPT are predicting a 2-0 Slavia Praha win, and Gemini thinks Paphos FC will win that 1-0. So I know Paphos FC are at home, but I think I would say on paper and in terms of pedigree, they are probably right down there at the bottom, you'd expect anyway, of the league. So I think Slavia Praha are pretty good. I can't remember, they recently played Barcelona, but did they beat them or draw against them? They at least gave them a good fight, which is pretty impressive. So maybe we'll go with Slavia Praha there. I don't have too much faith in Paphos FC, to be honest. Maybe that is maybe that's going to be detrimental to us, but there we go. Then we have PSG versus Newcastle. Very interesting affair, this one. And all three models are aligned once again, and I'm calling that a 2-1 Paris Saint-Germain win. So I don't mind that at all. I think if you were to ask me to predict the score, that's probably what I'd say as well, a 2-1 PSG win. This is one where I'm quite tempted to put the correct score on, but again, I really do prefer to stay away from that unless I'm absolutely sure. So we'll see. Moving on, we have PSV Eindhoven versus Bayern Munich, and once more we have got a full alignment from all three models who are predicting a 3-1 Bayern Munich win. So there's something in the data here that, on paper it looks like, we should sort of be pretty confident on that. I think this is one where we could do a bet builder though, because PSV are at home and definitely no slouches. They're not an easy day at all, not an easy day out at all. So yeah, I think we'll go for a Bayern Munich win, maybe with like a bet builder throw in, Harry Kane to score or assist, something like that. That's a pretty good one. Then we have Napoli versus Chelsea, one of the more interesting games of the day as well. You'll have seen that from the thumbnail. I think I'll put it on that. So we've got Grok and ChatGPT predicting a 2-2 draw, and Gemini thinks Chelsea will win that 2-1. So yeah, I think Napoli's slightly out of form compared to where they have been the last few seasons. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they're at the top anymore. I'm not even sure if they're in those Champions League spots. It's like all the old classic teams. You've got Inter, Juventus, AC Milan. Who else is up there? I think Roma. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, maybe like a double chance there. I've been quite sort of low-key impressed with Chelsea this season. I've had a couple of bad results here and there, but they are becoming quite consistent. And Liam Rossini, the new manager, seems to know what he's doing with this team. He's got a pretty decent system going on. They look quite solid, even without Cole Palmer being there. So we'll take that into consideration, excuse me. And the final game, we have got Union Saint-Gilloise versus Atalanta. Grok is predicting a 1-1 draw. ChatGPT is predicting a 2-1 Atalanta win, and Gemini a 2-0 Atalanta win. So I think in terms of pedigree and European experience, definitely Atalanta are the favourites here. But Union Saint-Gilloise have proved they're not pushovers. They've had a couple of sort of upset underdog results this season so far. So I think maybe we'll go for a double chance there, specifically as they are at home as well. That sort of unnerves me a little bit, especially certain games like that Bodo Glimt Man City game. When Bodo Glimt were at home, they really sort of really put Man City to the sword, bent them over their knee a little bit. So all that said, let's move on to see what the second accumulator bet looks like. All right, here it is, and it's slightly more lucrative than the first one. Let's have a quick spin through and see why I chose what I chose. So we've gone for a Tottenham win over Eintracht Frankfurt. This betting on Tottenham always makes me a little bit nervous, but all three models were pretty confident on a Spurs win there, so that's what we've gone for. Then we've gone for Liverpool to beat Karabag, just straight up. I think we sort of wanted to stay away from sort of bet builders on that, because especially with like the player markets, like this player specific markets, sometimes you don't really know who's going to play for Liverpool, especially in that front line. So we stayed away from that. We've just gone for a Liverpool full-time result. Then for the Man City Galatasaray game, we have gone for a bet builder, and that comprises of a Man City win, for there to be over 2 goals in the game, Victor Osimhen to have at least 1 shot on target, and for there to be over 6 corners, which I don't think is too bad, not too unlikely, and the odds aren't too bad there, 15-8. Then we've got Monaco versus Juventus, and we did go for a double chance, either a draw or a Juventus win. I think that makes sense. For Napoli versus Chelsea, You know, Napoli being at home, I was going to go for a double chance, Napoli or Chelsea, but that wasn't very good odds. So what I've gone for is just both teams to score. So we don't need to really worry about a result there, because it's a very even game, on paper at least. So I think that's pretty sensible to do. Then we have Slavia Praha to beat Paphos FC. This is one of those where we could have gone for a double chance, but it would have really hurt the odds. So I've been a little bit braver there and gone for a Slavia Praha away win at Paphos. Not that brave, but you know, it's something. Then we've gone for a bet builder on the PSG versus Newcastle game, and that consists of a PSG win, an Ousmane Dembele shot on target, at least one of those, and for there to be over 1 goal in the game. Then the last two we've gone for a bet builder on the Bayern Munich PSV game, and that is a Bayern Munich win, at least one Harry Kane shot on target, and again for there to be over 1 goal in the game. And then finally we have Union Saint-Gilloise versus Atalanta. We did go for the double chance, draw or Atalanta win. So on a £2 stake, that is going to potentially return us £404.77. Like I said, it's a little bit better than the last one. So in total there, we've got, you know, probably about, what is it, 620, 630 quid to win overall. So let me just explain how that works. So if we win, of course, all you've got to do is comment on this video, as I said in the intro, by the time the games have all been played. I'll then pick winners at random. So because we've got, you know, about 600 odd quid to win, you want to make it like a decent prize. So I think I'll pick sort of 2 to 3 lucky commenters. I'll get in touch and let you know you've won. We'll exchange like emails or whatever, WhatsApp, Discord, whatever is easiest for you. And then after that, subsequently, we will exchange financial information. So again, whatever's easiest for you, whatever's most comfortable, whatever has the best security, whether it's bank details or PayPal, anything, whatever's the best for you. I mean, I kind of just let you choose if you want, really. And then I'll just simply send the money straight over. Okay, just very briefly before I leave you, I always like to do this at the end, just to share with you exactly what the prompt was. So what you're seeing on screen now is the sort of predictions in their list form from the AI models themselves. The reason I don't include the prompt in a screenshot is because it's sort of like a multi-layered approach. So I'll just describe it for you now, rather than, you know, put like a 2.5-minute video on of me sort of talking to AI, which I predict will be quite boring. So what I do is I ask the models to predict the upcoming, for this example, Champions League games. Use current form, live data, injury lists, recent results, current form. I already said current form, didn't I? I've also asked them just recently, I've included this, to consider recent form more, you know, more than you normally would. So the reason I do that is because certain teams are better than they are on paper, and the AI sometimes forgets that. So I'm asking them to consider very seriously the league position at this current time. I'll also then ask them to consider underdogs and anomalies. So if a certain fixture brings up certain stats, you know, like one team always has the other team's number, or one's fixture is particularly low or high scoring, or a particular player always scores or doesn't score against a particular team, all that kind of thing. And then to cross-reference all of that, and then all things considered, what is the most likely outcome? And there we have it. That is basically the end of the video. Just want to quickly say, if you watched up to this point, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. That means a lot for a small channel like me. It goes a long way, longer than you know. So thank you so much. While you're here as well, if I could just ask you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. If you haven't already, I'd be very grateful for that indeed. But in any event, thank you so much for watching. Take it easy, get those comments in, and I'll see you in the next one.